everyone, welcome back to my channel, down to the last page. Now for today's video, I'm doing another book review video, and today's book review will be on Aliens in My Garden by Jude. Now shout out to Jude, thank you so much for reaching out to me on Twitter and giving me the opportunity to read your fantastic story. I will be leaving details down below for Jude, so please do go check him out too. Now, quick synopsis: Aliens in My Garden brings together a witch, an owl sidekick, a wizard that's up to no good, and an alien teenage girl. And that's just only a small fraction of all the wonderful diverse characters that you get in the story. The alien in question, Celeste, lands in the garden in a giant teacup-shaped spaceship, and which gets all the residents of the garden questioning, who is she, where is she from, and
get off of our property!
However, Celeste is on a mission and she recruits the help of Alditha, the garden witch, and both women embark on a roller coaster of an adventure fighting evil wizards and flying metal objects. Now, as much as I enjoyed the story, there were a couple of points which, a couple of critiques I did have. There weren't big major critiques, just two small points. And the first one being, obviously this is a non-spoiler review, so the first one being there was a small part at the end which felt a little bit, I felt like it was just slotted in. I feel like it didn't need to be there. This bit didn't put me off the ending. It didn't change the ending for me, nor did it change my feelings about the story. I just felt it was a little bit out of place and it just didn't need to be in there. So that's just one small critique. And the other critique I do have was getting into the story. The beginning, the first couple of chapters especially, was just a little bit on the slow side. Jude was describing a lot of background history of certain characters and a lot of background, which once they were described then continued with the plot, which I felt slowed down the book or slowed down the story a little bit. However, this only lasted up until chapter 3, and after that point it was all guns blazing. Now on to the good parts of the story, or the parts that I definitely found and loved about the book in general. So the first one being, like I mentioned, the story has a huge diverse amount of characters, and when I mean diverse, we're talking trees, we're talking intelligent vegetation, we're talking spells books with faces, we're talking dragons and even demons that all coexist in this garden. Now, Jude does a fantastic way of being able to describe and talk about each character without going too in depth with their background. So he fleshes out each character, so we get to know a little bit about their livelihood, their contribution to the garden, and their likes and dislikes, which I actually thought was a really good touch, and it kind of helped bring the rest of the community of the garden, bring it more to life, in my opinion. The next point for me was the writing style. Now, there are two genres existing in the story, which is folklore, fantasy mixed with sci-fi, and throughout the whole time when I was reading, it didn't feel like I was reading just two separate genres. They weren't jarring at all, they were seamlessly written together, and it just felt so good reading. There were loads of, considering what the story was about and the aspects it involved, it just worked so well together. And that's another thing I really liked. I didn't have to pick up a physics book to try and figure out the sci-fi bit, and I didn't need to know or have read a lot of fantasy to understand the folklore elements, and he did a really good being able to entwine both genres. So I thought that was a fantastic quality of the book. And finally, the story, the plot itself. Some of the highlights for me was finding out about Celeste and her background and her connection to the garden. The other one was finding out about the lore of the garden and the background of all the inhabitants that resided in the garden, and the different twists and turns that the story took. It just kept you on your toes trying to find out what happened next, and everything and all the events that did take place in the story accumulating to the finale we got was just well worth it. And that's it. That was my book review on Aliens in My Garden. If you did like this video, please do leave me a thumbs up, and if it's your first time here, don't forget to subscribe. Like I mentioned before, I will be leaving details down below for Jude, so please do go check him out, and I will see you all next time.